Chill with me, with me, with me,
What's going on, y'all? Watch, as soon as I turn into a bear, this is gonna pump like crazy. I was just thinking this morning I was gonna get some puts at open. Watch, it's just like mega pump the one day that I'm getting puts. I might just do a small put position anyways and play around with it. All right, let's go through some charts. We'll go through some dealer stuff after. And then we'll see where people net out. Okay, let's ignore all these trend lines. They kind of don't really matter. I like them just to see what it looks like. And see where there might be rejection spots. And where there might be support. So the the May 19th trend line from this body here, let's do it nice, has been pretty well respected for the most part until basically yesterday, where we started closing below that, and now we're definitely below that trend line. And now we have another trend line that's on the downside, and this is called a downward trend line. But I think I was mentioning this, like I do see a head and shoulder pattern on SPY here. The thing that's tripping me up and everyone else is there's just no volume. This is like a short week anyways, but there's just not a lot of volume for us to do anything meaningful, right? Yesterday, we didn't break out of orb at all. And you could have made some money on puts and calls, but we never really went below this level at 748. We didn't go above 750. So it was hard to see where it's going to go. And like we had a double tap here and then, W pattern formed. So on SPX, I'm just going to wait until midday if there's no volume again, which I don't think there will be. And then I'll either take if it tops out, I'll take puts. If it bottoms out, then I'll take some calls. And then I'll maybe get some small size SPY puts that open. That's really where my mind is. I can't swing much either right now because they're not letting go of this, but they're not letting it go up here either. So this $2 range, $4 range, whatever it is, like I really don't like that. And all the price action really just happens pre-market or post-market. So this is accumulation. It's not a bad thing, mind you. Like we've been grinding up ever since like, what was it, like March 17th or whatever, March 31st. So I get it. You got to consolidate a little bit before you break out again, right? Consolidate, breaks out. And then we're back into that consolidation pattern. So consolidates, maybe it'll break out eventually one way or another. But this is what's, I wouldn't say bothering me, but it's a bit of a concern. Because you're in accumulation mode right now, and it could go one way or another. I do hope that we're in for more all-time highs, because I think that's a better setup anyways, just for everyone's portfolios. But if we see it go towards the downside, then at least we'll know. Yeah, I'm thinking dumb as well. At least we'll know where this is going to end up, right? And we have a lot of gaps below, and they haven't taken care of this gap. There's like 4 other gaps below. If I remember right, there's one here. There's one here, which I think got filled. There's one here. There's like one here. There's another one like way below here as well. So at least we know where the targets are for liquidity the next time we do get a downtrend. But at least for this week, ever since Friday, actually, it's just been consolidating. So I'm thinking I'm just going to get some puts that open. If they work, they work. If they don't, whatever. I wouldn't size anything too big, to be honest, because there's no volume. And if I see the trend change in one direction or another, as I said on SPX, then I'll take those plays probably like midday, maybe after 11. Because yesterday what happened after 10, 15, basically, like nothing happened. Even if you got some puts, you maybe made 50% on it. I think Sky was playing some puts there. And then we ended up getting a 100% move right here and then turning that, what was it, like $840 into like 1,700. So that was a good play, but ultimately we're in just consolidation mode, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's the same story on IWM, same head and shoulder pattern, QQQ, it's the exact same. It's literally the same algorithm, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see where it nets out. But if it pumps the one day that I'm going to put, I'm going to be cheesed because how could they do that to me? Anyways, Micron, I think I said this a couple of days ago. Like it looked dumpy to me. We got that pre-market move and then it just dumped right afterwards. So I'm going to wait until 2 p.m. on Micron. I do think it's going to come back down here and then consolidate a little bit more before either picking a direction after 2 p.m. And the reason I'm saying 2 p.m. is because that's when algorithms and institutions go out and buy what they want to do for tomorrow, right? And tomorrow's Friday. I'm not going to play anything, to be honest. Maybe I'll do some zero DT options on Tesla or Meta or something. Meta actually looks pretty good for a breakout. I hope it comes back down here and then we can get some calls. This is that resistance line that I drew, and that's exactly what's been happening. But, above this, it should fly in theory. I think it's going to come back, double tap, and then go up. And I see the same story on SanDisk as well. I pasted this chart yesterday, but it's pretty likely that we go test, prior highs. And if this area holds, which it should, to be honest, then you buy calls here towards 11 or 1640 or whatever. So I'm glad that this thesis has played out, and it's the same exact story on Micron. The unfortunate thing is we got that move pre-market. So this is what I was expecting to happen during the market hours. But whatever, it is what it is. Maybe it does another double tap and then kind of goes back up. And below this, if we start closing below this on the 15 minutes, you're likely looking to fill this gap and then maybe coming down to this displacement. So if anyone's interested in playing this name, just watch for the test of prior highs. If it holds, which I think it will, then you're more likely to go up towards 1640, 1660, take care of this displacement here, and then see if you want to carve out higher highs and higher lows. Yeah, we can probably play both calls and puts today. The downside is, again, it's that accumulation pattern, which I really don't like. And I don't think you should size too big, if at all, to be honest. Because it's hard to time these if you're not watching the screen constantly, or if you're not able to get the limit buys and limit sells in place. So that's what I'm looking at. Bitcoin's jumping, let it dump. It's going to hold this area at 7280, 72800, because that's where market makers will lose a lot of money below that. And we'll see what we get. Top watches for me are SanDisk calls for tomorrow. Micron calls or puts for tomorrow. Meta probably calls for tomorrow. Tesla, I don't even know what Tesla's doing, to be honest. This is accumulation. Didn't get any movement that I wanted yesterday. Yeah, you could have made some money on calls and puts, but higher highs, higher lows. And then you still have that same head and shoulder pattern as every other index and ETF that we've looked at so far. So if this area holds, which again, I think it should, then you're likely to go towards 440 tomorrow. Higher than that, you're going towards like 459.90. So I might get some Tesla end of June calls for the 460 strike. But I'm going to wait until this comes back down around here before I enter that position. And CoreWeave, I'm going to get a starter call on this for the 110 calls for June 18th. Looking pretty good to me. It's been basing now for a couple of weeks. And then we'll see if this wants to break out. Snow, if anyone tailed those snow calls with me, you're going to be up like 400% almost. That 180 strike in particular. So I'm going to take the win on those, ride it open. I do think this is going to come back down. This is a huge displacement. I do think this is going to come back down at least around here somewhere, maybe even lower than that. And then decide to go up. So pretty nice to see. I don't know if I think some of us took IBM calls, should do well. Dell should do well as well. HPE, I don't know if anyone took those calls. I don't know what happened here. Like it just didn't go anywhere. So that's pretty flat. I don't know if you want to get snow puts. Your call. I'm just going to wait until it bottoms out and then I'll get some more calls for that for tomorrow. I'm not in any rush to do anything. I'm trying to preserve as much cash as possible. You'll notice I said in the admin summaries in George, I've scaled out of most of my leaps, most of my calls at this point in time because I don't know where the market's going to go. UNH, I have like one runner left. I might add to it. I ran, if anyone took those with me, you're up like 400%, if not more, or you were yesterday at least. I don't know if that's the case today. But I'm just going to get some SPY puts that open in 3 minutes here and kind of take the win if I see it. If not, then I'll change my stance to calls. And yeah, CoreWeave, these I ran calls went from 130 to 425. I have one runner left, if I remember right. Dell, we'll see what happens there. And then UNH already trimmed most of my position. I had like 10 or 20 contracts. I just sold most of them. I ran, same thing. I had like 10 contracts, sold most of them. One runner. I'm trying to be as nimble as possible because I don't know what's going to happen, especially going into the summer, right? I'm hoping June is volatile. I don't know if it will be, but I do like how that's shaping up in general. The market opens in about 2 minutes. I did some of these 752 calls yesterday for SPY. I don't think they're going to go anywhere, but whatever. And I'm looking to get the 750 puts, maybe the 748 puts, depending on how the opening goes. So I'll just get some puts right at open for 15 minutes. We might have 15, 20 minutes to be in that position and then see if the market reverses. And then I'll get some calls towards the other side. But I want to watch the first 5 minutes and just to see what happens there. So I'll go to the 5-minute chart and see who's in control, if it's the bears or bulls. Oh, and before I do that, let's go to some dealer positioning on SPX. Good volume on the 75-70s. I saw the 50s let up as well in the 30s. We know from this past week, at least 75-30 here is a pretty big wall that we can't get through because there's no volume, obviously. So we'll see where that ends up, but I'll get some micron calls at the end of the day, and then we'll see how this kind of shapes up through the day. Right now, George is bearish. They are building up position upside. Maybe there's some news tomorrow. I don't know. But if you're playing calls, either get the 75-30 calls and then just scale out of them if we get there. Or if you're playing puts, I think the 74, 75 is probably good. RR. We'll wait a little bit. Just want to see the first 5 minutes. I might just place an order for puts right at open anyways. And then see where that goes. But I'm trying to play more SPY in the morning and because there's no volume. And then size up on SPX intraday, at least for this week. And if the volatility comes back in June, then it comes back. But I'm not seeing it right now. Apple 6.5, 315C. Yeah, those actually probably look good. This displacement area is holding pretty well, surprisingly. And then market is open. I'm going to get the 748 puts. I'm just going to get like 2 of these and see what happens. Yeah, George is saying puts as well. Interesting. 748. I have a hedge position for tomorrow as well. We'll see where that goes. And watch it be like the one day I get puts that this entire market pumps. I'm going to be so mad. Did it get filled? I actually don't even know.
Hey, those 1,000 calls from Micron didn't open up minus 60%. That's fucking awesome. That's a win for me.
Hell yeah, nicely done. Oh, dude,
Oh, it was so sketchy.
I know. I don't want to chase anything though, so I'm not rushing into it. Oh, it did fill. Nice.
I'm gonna fill these at 10 something just to kind of watch these spreads and re-enter. This is kind of wacky. Holy shit, 9 to 10, 30. Those are the spreads. Yeah, fucking get out real quick.
Yeah, that's the one downside with Micron. That's why I can't like get 5,200 contracts. The spreads are whack and the volume isn't there. They're buying the shares more so than the contracts.
You saw the Apple calls I put in there?
Yep, Apple looks good. It's held out displacement. So that makes sense.
They got hit in the close for like I think 10,000 contracts or something like that.
Crazy.
Like I don't trade Apple, so I don't know how it works. But if I remember, I feel like when the market is starting to dip or die a little bit, Apple stays kind of like the faith, the strong line.
Yeah, it's the defensive play, right? So I got these 748
Yeah.
puts that are filled. They're up about like 3%. We might have 15 minutes before this market goes up or one way or another, but I'm going to watch. It's a starter. If it goes this way, great. I'll add to it. If not, then I'll get the calls towards the upside. But yeah, Apple, for the most part, is pretty defensive. Microsoft, I hate the stock. Not hate, but like I really don't like it. It's just, I don't know. It's been basing for so long. If you catch it, you catch it, but it's not really doing much.
Microsoft does suck. That's how Intel was for a while too.
Yeah, Intel was like that for a while. So let it just base out for maybe the next year. I do have some leaps on it. So if I want to buy it again, I will in a year. But there's no volume once again. Ugh, so annoying.
Qualcomm's just doing all right so far out of the gate.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Qualcomm
hang on though.
Yeah, that should continue to go. What I don't like is the put premiums are dropping right now, even though we're dropping on the market.
Mm.
See, you have like this, you have this red candle here, and then the put premiums just collapse for no reason. Watch them be buying the calls right now. Let me open up the Webull.
Yeah, my puts seem to be working.
Nice. Oh, these are up 10%. Sweet. Why is my broker being such a hoe right now? Yeah, they're starting to buy the 7550s, 30s, and 20s. But again, no volume, so I don't know what's going to happen
no.
here.
15%.
Let's see if they start buying the 30s or the 20s. All right, puts are up 13%. You know, as I said, I think we have like 15, 20 minutes before the market reverses. All right, 20%. Nice. Oh, interesting. Calls imminent. All right, well, maybe I'll just sell these, get my 20% and move on. That should fill. If not, then what the hell is this broker doing? Yeah, this should fill. I don't know why it's not. Okay. These put premiums are collapsing, though. That's what I don't like. Did it fill or no? That felt great. Okay, out of puts. Let's go to SPY.
Out of puts.
Yep. I like the 750s. If I can get these at like $1, even better. I can get like 3 of these at 125, maybe 120.
Shapsy sounds like shovels.
All right, out of puts. Got the 750s at 120 right now. Let's see where that goes. It's only been 5 minutes.
Yeah, but the 75-10 calls look good for bounce right now too. So I like what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's fucking early, but
it is
they're
early.
starting to ramp it.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the 7520s. Like, if they started buying these, which I think they will shortly, it's going to pop to the upside. That just seems like a bear trap to me.
Man, it looks like they're buying them. All I have is volume bars on this huge dip down. And it
look at
opens,
those buys
so.
coming in on the 7520s on SPX. Damn, George, you're good.
A low I have for the 10s is 1230 pre-market. I don't know if they go that low, but that's what I'm watching. Also, the last 2 days, the move in the morning only like yielded like 60% if you bottom ticked it. So That was
Yeah.
another thing that was like the better move was midday, which is fucking annoying.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait midday, man. There's no point getting this stuff at open right now. I think at 9:45 they'll turn the buys on, if not sooner.
I don't like to build a position in the Apple calls right now. It's under their bid in. So I'll wait on that. 315s.
Jeez.
If we get another day where we don't leave orb, it's gonna be hella annoying. That's 3 days in a row where nothing happened. It's fine. They gotta accumulate. Weirdly, the calls haven't moved that much in premiums, so I do think a bounces is coming. Still got 20% puts, which is kind of nice. And what I also did, just so people know, I took a personal hedge. I got 745 puts for tomorrow. I already have the 740s that I rolled from last week. But that's more downside protection. That's just a hedge. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. But I do think it's if this pumps above, okay, let's go look at this, right? Like if we get above 751.69 on SPY, you're invalidating that head and shoulder pattern, right? What I really don't like is why they're holding this area. So I can't swing much more than this because this area has been held now like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost like 9 times here, right? And so like that's testing this previous high, and we've come back like bounced up every single time from there. So in a weird way, you can play this pretty safely. You can get calls here, you get puts here, you get calls here, puts here. So if SPY breaks above 751, which I think it actually might by tomorrow, maybe even today, then you're likely to go towards the weekly target, which is 755 that I have, maybe even extend beyond that to 756, I think it is. So let's see where that ends up. But, if we get another day of accumulation where like the opening range, that just nothing happens, then I'm just not going to do anything tomorrow. Because let them accumulate. I'd rather just save my buying power until price action improves. But I'll mark this off. Obviously, it hasn't been 15 minutes. But I'll mark this off as an area that we should watch. And weirdly enough, the call premiums have actually increased. So let's see what happens. You know what's been moving like trash? NVIDIA. NVDA. It just does this all the time. Bottoms out, cups and handles, dumps. Then tops out, and then dumps. Kind of saw the same thing there.
I think I have this reversing. There's a good block on the 7,500 call that just came in.
Yeah, I think it's going to reverse up too. It's like
I don't know how hard it
minutes.
is, but yeah.
I had 50 minutes on these puts at most. I see the buys coming in on the 75 10s, 20s. Like it's going to go up. But this is pretty small volume. Like there's no volume again.
Yeah, it's definitely low. There you go. Micron out the gate, 4 times as much volume as SPY has already. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's insane. Watch the 945 candle. That'll decide direction. Evil nicotine. Guy up north. Muted. Weirdly, the put premiums are not increasing. The call premiums are staying flat relatively. Oh, sus flow's working nice. Yeah, it might just be pinned again. Every time, 945. Okay, calls are up if you got them. Yeah, I started buying it. I knew this was going to happen. Yeah. One thing I've noticed with Micron is the first, let's go to the hourly chart. If I go to the 1 hour, one thing I've noticed with Micron is the first hour, because it's all retail, they just shake everyone out. And then like 2 p.m. hits, or like the afternoon hits, yeah, like right around 2 p.m. basically, and they start buying it up. All right, so this is
It's literally the old Tesla playbook. It's like spike
Exactly.
up. Oh, hey, take your profit. Dump it 30 points, base, freak them all out, and then they don't enter and then rip back up on it.
yeah. So I'm gonna wait till 2 p.m. and I'll get some Micron call for tomorrow. Because I really like how this is setting up, and like this is obviously accumulation for a bigger move. Whether that's up or down, we don't know. But I might do a straddle tomorrow for Micron. I'll get some like 940 calls, but also like 900 puts. And one of them is going to 10x. The other one will go to 0. So happy either way.
So I was in yesterday. I was in the 860 puts just to kind of like hedge against it. And they still went like 90%.
Oh, yeah. I like the 880s for some reason.
You saw, I don't know if I shared it. No, I put it in the group thing. There's hella bull spreads that were opened up on Micron end of December.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Those look pretty good, actually.
And I don't even know how that works, right? Like, given it just keeps climbing, but then they want to maybe dilute or do a stock split or whatever. I think you just, if you have long options or leaps, I think you just get those split too.
Yeah.
Or they cash you out.
See that 945 candle? Like, I knew this was going to happen. So that's what I was saying. Like, you have 15 minutes to get out of those puts, which we did. Got 20%. And the calls are profitable. So 945. All right. That's the move that's this week at least. If you got those SPX calls, you're up a decent amount. So call screen. If you're going to sneeze, at least mute yourself. Let's see if Bitcoin's doing anything, because this has been leading so far. You get like a move, then this does the move, and like 30 seconds later, you see that same move on IWM and then SPY. It goes 1, 2, 3. Yes, shake out all retail on Micron. Do it. Do it so I can get cheaper calls. I really don't like this pattern sometimes.
Yeah, my puts are coming back to life.
Yeah. This is suspicious. Why are they doing a double tap of orb low?
Trying to get some volume coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, George is saying waiting for a setup. He's probably right. See how they're loading up these calls right now? 30s, 10s, it's all calls except for the puts here at 7500s. So I do think you're in for either a news event, honestly, or maybe to just pump it at like 10. It's stuck in orb still. There's just no volume though. This is literally the same as yesterday on Micron. Dump, up, dump, dump, up, dump. Insane. I don't know why they're buying the 7600s. I really don't. Why are they building a 7600 position? Like, are we going to get some world peace overnight? They're hella cheap though, so might be worth the risk and reward. Meanwhile, let's go see what Sandus is doing. Sandus should be testing the prior highs. We're almost there. Almost
I
there.
don't think anybody took the Apple calls, so those are up 40%
Nice.
or 35.
Hey, that meta thing that I was telling us about this morning worked out. Undercut, hold this area, go up. Apple flight to safety, yep. I think the USD yen thing we got to look at and see. Actually, don't even know where it is. Forex. Oh, JPY. That's what it is. At 160, like we're gonna be in for some pain. The one thing I also don't like is how the dollar's moving up. If you look at the DXY, this has been basing now for like a couple weeks. And then now you're starting to set in a bottom. So I don't know if it's going to be a flight to cash pretty soon. It might be. Then you're looking for like a pullback on every other asset in the world. So I do think this area will hold on US dollar and then kind of go
Yeah,
up.
there it is.
Hey, calls. Okay. Calls are green once more. I'm not bearish either. And like we saw them build those positions even before that pump happened. So I'd love to see it. Look at that volume on Bitcoin. Sure, you've been trading Bitcoin. I don't know what we're doing with fucking SPX.
I don't like how there was not a lot of volume coming in on that.
Yeah, I like the QQQ calls here as well. Like in probably 10 minutes, this will reverse up. I might just get some Q calls right now as well. Hey, the calls on Spire green. So if you want to take the win, take the win. I like the 730s at like 110. Probably get like 3 of these. They're gonna have to try harder than that to shake me out, honestly. Yeah, I mean, dude, if you want to take the profit at 6%, 10%, take the win. I'm looking for 20-30% right now because we're in accumulation mode. So I'm going to take the win at 20-30 and move on. If I can leave runners, I'll leave some runners. Oracle weeklies, yep. Software should be catching a bit, especially because the snow now looks good as well. I think we were talking about this. Oracle probably is going to catch bids. Looks good, to be honest. See, 9:45, 10 a.m. candle. What did I say? You're up 20% on these calls as well. All right, y'all. I'm going to call it a day and wait till SPX does something interesting for me to take anything cool. And then what I'll do is 75.20 Cs hitting 75.30 Cs hitting 740. All right, at least we read that right. Bear trap it open. We got 20% on puts. We got some calls at 9:45. They're green by 20%, maybe more. You should take the win and move on with your day.